Manchester United table €60 million bid for Amadou Onana. Manchester United are reported to be offering a €60 million deal to sign Everton star Amadou Onana as the Red Devils seek to bolster their midfield unit this summer. Mundo Deportivo, Spanish sports newspaper, reveals United are willing to sanction a move worth €55 million fixed euros and 5 variables as well as a considerable salary for the 22-year-old midfielder. The Belgian international, currently representing his country in Germany at Euro 2024, is thought to be high on the wish list of a host of top clubs across Europe, including Barcelona and Arsenal, as well as United. Mundo Deportivo reveals the Catalan club consider Onana their planner for the defensive midfield position this summer, but the financial difficulties embroiling Camp Nou means there is extreme difficulty in making the transfer happen. There is belief amongst Barcelona's executive structure that Onana would greatly increase the team's desired balance, with his combination of technical ability and physical dominance an attractive proposition for any club. It's a similar situation for Arsenal, with Mikel Arteta thought to admire Onana's dual-winning ability and aerial strength, as well as the prospect of the Belgian being able to free up Declan Rice to push further forward, as the Englishman has done to great effect in his debut season at the Gunners. However, it's United who appear ready to steal a march on their domestic and European rivals, with Erik ten Hag likely to want to strengthen his porous midfield with a player possessing the skill set of Onana. Kobbie Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes firmly established themselves as the undisputed first choices of the Dutchman's midfield triumvirate towards the end of this season. The final member of this trio was far less clear, however. Casemiro's form was as bad this season as it was brilliant in his first year in England. The Brazilian looked every bit of his 32 years of age at times this season, often making wild, hopeless tackles and constantly losing opposition midfielders running through midfield. Similarly, Sofiane Amrabat, signed on a year-long loan from Fiorentina, where he likely will be returning, struggled equally to the Brazilian in his stead. As did Christian Eriksen and Scott McTominay, the Dane lacking the brawn of the Scot and the Scot lacking the brain of the Dane. As such, a strong, athletic defensive midfielder emerged as a priority this summer. This became even truer once it was confirmed Ten Hag would be remaining at the helm at Old Trafford moving forward, following Ineos' comprehensive season review. If the Dutch manager's vision of transitional football is to succeed, he requires players capable of covering and tracking large amounts of space, something the large, yet surprisingly mobile, Onana thrives in, while midfielders like Amrabat and Casemiro flounder. Equally, if United are to continue with Lisandro Martinez at centre-back, as they should, the diminutive Argentinian must be accounted for with height elsewhere. Onana's 6 feet 5 inches frame applying perfectly to this balance. From Everton's perspective, the Toffees are facing acute pressure from the Premier League's profits and sustainability rules, PSR, and need to generate significant income before June 30 to ensure they do not fall foul of the regulations again. United have been strongly linked with a move for Jarrad Branthwaite, Everton's young central defender who emerged as a key member of Sean Dyche's side this season. However, the Merseyside club will not accept offers below £75 million for the centre-back, despite United's attempts to drive down the price. Everton are thought to be much more open to Onana departing Goodison Park, with the prospect of a €60 million far more likely to succeed than the opening offer United tabled for Branthwaite. This feels one to keep a close eye on as the countdown to June 30 approaches. What Ineos have now done to try to bring Jean-Clair Todibo to Manchester United. Manchester United have long held an interest in bringing Jean-Clair Todibo to Old Trafford, and now Ineos are taking serious steps. Signing a central defender is of the utmost importance for Manchester United this summer. However, it's proving a tricky task to do just that. Top target Jarrad Branthwaite is proving expensive and has Everton unwilling to drop their demands, while Lena Euro has chosen Real Madrid. Jean-Clair Todibo was another top target for £40 million. However, UEFA have refused this move because both Nice and United are in the Europa League next season. Ineos may have been told no to the deal by UEFA, but this hasn't prevented them from continuing to search for a solution. Now, they have taken an extra measure to do so, likely under the argument that if United pay a fair price to Nice, there shouldn't be an issue. Ineos now pushing for Jean-Clair Todibo solution. While a move for Jean-Clair Todibo had seemingly reached the level of 0% likelihood, it may not be as certain as first believed. New hope of adding Todibo to the defensive ranks comes from journalist Sacha Tavolieri, who has now affirmed that Ineos want to bring the Frenchman to Old Trafford. It's reported that Ineos are now set to actually contest the UEFA regulations, which have denied Todibo a move to Manchester thus far. In order to do so, Swiss lawyer Gianpaolo Montanari has been hired to plead Ineos' argument to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Montanari is highly regarded within sport and football law and has a long successful track record in his career of resolving disputes in relation to contracts, transfers, employment, and agency. Gianpaolo has worked for FIFA in the past before establishing Montanari Sports Law as head of the Players' Status Department, so he likely understands the laws better than anyone. If anyone can push through this deal, it'll be him. With Ineos set to challenge the regulations, United in Focus spoke with TBR's football finance expert Adam Williams to add some context. Historically, there have been no impediments to the transfer of players between clubs within the same ownership structure, so long as the deals are considered fair value. We've seen Man City move players from one club to another. And in Savio, whose move from Girona to the league champions is due to be announced this summer, they have a directly analogous situation to the Todibo case. However, that deal was agreed before UEFA began something of a crackdown on inter-ownership transfers, while United's interest in Todibo came further down the line. That will frustrate United, but UEFA can't be seen to be making retroactive exceptions to their rules, especially given that many clubs are exasperated by their leniency towards both Manchester clubs in allowing them to compete with their sister sides in Europe next season. If United can't sign Todibo, Ineos could soon lose interest in Nice. Adding to this, Adam explained that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's desire for a multi-club model could mean he looks to leave Nice should UEFA not allow him to utilise the connection. Long-term, if Ratcliffe is unsuccessful with his appeal at CAS, I'd expect him to divest his interest in Nice. He has said he is committed to Nice and is an admirer of the multi-club model, but the current crisis with the French TV deal is an existential threat for League One clubs. And UEFA's rules are a headache. He could instead look to establish a multi-club outpost outside of Europe, which would mitigate UEFA's concerns about conflict of interest. To get the same recruitment benefits under the post-Brexit points system as he would via a European club would mean it would need to be a major acquisition in a big league, which would be expensive proportionate to what he might pay in Europe. But the commercial benefits are also arguably bigger in, say, the Brazilian market too. It's why we've seen the owners of Man City, Liverpool, and Villa look across the Atlantic for investment opportunities. It has been a long summer, and with this, it seems there's no end in sight to the frustrations in the transfer market. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Man United's swap transfer plan to land Jarrad Branthwaite involves 2 Old Trafford exits. Manchester United are continuing their pursuit to sign England defender Jarrad Branthwaite this summer, but have told Everton they will not be held ransom by their valuation. Manchester United are attempting to offload Victor Lindelof and Aaron Wan-Bissaka as potential makeweights to land Everton's Jarrad Branthwaite in a transfer swap. The Red Devils remain in the hunt for reinforcements in central defence, with the 21-year-old England defender earmarked as an ideal candidate to bolster the backline. Everton maintain they don't expect to lose the highly rated defender for next season. However, the Toffees have conceded they'd be willingly to let him go for a mega deal. Branthwaite signed a new contract at Goodison Park last autumn, which runs until 2027. United's opening bid of £35 million plus add-ons was rejected by Everton, but Old Trafford Chiefs remain fixated on the defender and are hoping to test the resolve of the Merseyside club. Even so, those at United refuse to be held to ransom, with new minority owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe making clear that the days of extravagant transfer spending are over. One method of potentially peeling Branthwaite away from Everton is to reportedly offer a swap deal that would include Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. United activated options in December to extend both defenders' contracts until the summer of 2025. But according to the Echo, United's hopes of a transfer swap deal for the pair are largely in vain. Everton top brass insist they will not be bullied into selling Branthwaite on the cheap, while also shutting down claims of a PSR-inspired fire sale at Goodison Park before June 30. Further, Everton cite the lavish expenditures doled out for defenders over the years, including the £80 million United forked out for Harry Maguire in 2019. Given the £75 million Chelsea paid for Wesley Fofana in 2022 and the £77 million Manchester City paid for Josko Gvardiol in 2023, Everton file Branthwaite in the same cash of defender, particularly given he is homegrown and ability to play on the left. United's defence is in desperate need of bolstering. United had 14 different centre-back combinations last season, a defensive crisis exacerbated by a raft of injuries across the term.